Nope. Try it now?
Right now, we're good now.
Yeah, we're good now. What's up, guys? Sorry about that. Welcome back. We are here for
We're here.
another episode. It's been how many now? 10 or 11?
10.
10.
10 weeks, man.
Big 10.
Weeks.
You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking for the 11th. I think I changed the background on the podcast. Not the starting soon, but this background where we normally chat here. I think we shake it up.
I'm good with that.
I mean, you know,
Taking it up good.
Yeah, I think we shake it up a little bit. Just a little bit. Nothing crazy though. Nothing crazy, but a little shake up. But welcome in everyone. Hope everybody's doing well. We're kind of, this week's been slow, so we were kind of nitpicking at a few different topics. There's not a whole lot to go on, to like attack, because I mean we're
not even in gaming news. There's not even there's nothing coming out.
Yeah, we're kind of in a lull. I mean, we saw one more class tuning in beta. We saw a little bit of tuning to some of the Mythic Plus dungeons in beta, some corrections, some fixes. But and Wildhead's doing their ritual. Hey, these are the must-haves based on, you know, where these classes are playing right now. Some things that need to change. Those kind of topics are kind of floating around right now. But outside of that, there's not a whole lot with retail World of Warcraft going on. At least, you know, not at the immediate present. We're in that. We're definitely in the limbo now of the new patch.
Very much in the limbo. Probably the hardest time to play Warcraft is right now. I know Zugsy's feeling it. I'm feeling it a little bit. Yep. Like, you kind of log in and you've kind of done all the things you want to do. And, you know, when you're a content creator, you're looking for new content, but people want to see the content you always do. And it's kind of hard to break into some other things. And it's a tough time to be a Warcraft streamer right now, a Warcraft content creator.
Yeah, it's just in a weird spot, right? Because we're, you know, unless there's a couple of things, like if you're after those last minute achievements and remix, or last minute, you know, trying to nab your cutting edge or your KSM, KSH, KSL, AOTC even for this season. I mean, we're kind of just sitting in limbo. The only thing that I have seen a lot of people doing, Scions, is they're running characters through raid and through keys, and the reason I think they're doing that is because they haven't settled on a main yet, so they're trying to power level as many characters as they can, so that and yes, I know, well, you know, when you get into midnight, you're going to go from level 80 to 90, but that gear is going to carry you a good chunk of the way through level 80 to 90. And I have a question. I have a question for you, and I can't remember this, and we were talking about this last night. Does your 4-set bonus on expansion changes stop working?
Yes.
I thought so.
Yeah, it does. So your bonus, the bonus is gone as soon as midnight drops. So
no, I thought it was pre-patch, right? As soon as pre-patch drops?
It might be pre-patch.
They did on the beta? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I know when you go from season to season, the old previous 4-set bonuses work.
Yes.
Until you break them with the new sets, right? But when we're going from expansion beyond the stat squish and everything else like that, I was pretty confident that the set bonuses stopped working too.
They do. And then, you know, in reference to what you were saying about item level, I didn't replace gear until I was level, well, we're going to 90, right? So I was level 87 before I replaced one piece of gear.
Yeah.
So yeah, the higher level you can get, I mean, you could just sell or disenchant all that gear you're getting from all your, you know, quests and stuff. So
yeah, the only reason I bring that up is because that's the only, besides people coming back to the game now, getting ready for midnight, and so they're last minute rushing, or it's people who haven't figured out what class they're going to main yet, or what spec, or whatever the case is. So they're trying to power level these other classes to determine which one they're going to settle on once we get closer to, you know, midnight rolling out. You know what I mean? So that way they got a little bit. They got a little bit of everything. That's just my opinion on that, though. I don't have any ironclad evidence. It's just it's what makes sense. So that's why I say that, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
And evil, you're right. The pre-patch expansion turns them into legacy tier. Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Yep.
Yeah. That's what I thought, and I just want and I appreciate you guys answering in the live too. Also, guys, if it means the world to us if you haven't done it already, hit the like on the live.
Do it.
Subscribe if you haven't subbed. Leave a comment. Let us know. I will be reposting this video in higher resolutions for you for your pleasure by Sunday, so that way you can go back, do us a favor like that, drop a comment, let us know so we can continue to kind of, you know, curtail this in a direction that you guys are going to continue to enjoy the content. You know, it means the world to us. Those types of interactions on the videos mean the world to us, and we're going to do our very best to, but considering there's two of us to, you know, react to those comments, talk to you in the comment section. So do us a favor, make sure you're doing that. That means the world to us, truly.
It does.
Yep. But I think it's time we jump into some of the stuff and things. Yes.
Yeah, let's do it, man. Let's talk about some things.
All right. Well, the first thing that we're going to talk about today, guys, is the desertion buff when getting kicked from a group in retail. I'm not sure if that's, you know, since they introduced LFG to like MOP, if it works that way with them as well, but MOP Classic. But in retail, desertion, if you get kicked from a group, you're getting are you getting one, or are you saying?
Yeah, you get it. You get the 30-minute deserter buff. Yes.
Okay. Well, let me start with you. What's your opinion on that?
I think that Blizzard needs to fix that. I mean, you know, when you're in a dungeon, you know, or you're in a group and you're learning and you're with a bunch of people who already know everything and you're not performing the way they want you to, and they kick you, and then you got to wait 30 minutes to try it again, that's a double punishment, man. That's double jeopardy. So I think that they need to take it off. They're aware of it. They know about it, and they refuse to do anything about it. And that is a problem with their game. That's one of those new player problems that Blizzard has, that they are just, people are just forgetting about it. They'll stop talking about it. And they're not. It's all over the forums. It's everywhere. And Blizzard's just kind of turned in a blind eye to it. I think they have to get in there and code that out, personally.
Yeah.
And I don't think that it's not a big enough problem.
Guys, would you believe it? I'm agreeing with Scions on the topic. That's wild.
I know it's weird. I appreciate you letting me talk too, but I think that I think that there's not enough pain coming Blizzard's way to change that quickly. So that's the biggest thing.
I mean,
so once it starts hurting Blizzard, they'll change it right now, today.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the reality is let's say you get into a group, right? And let's say you're the tank, and what you don't know is the other 4 players in that event. You know, and I'm assuming we're talking about an LFG type of content, right? That's what we're referring to.
It could be LFG, yeah.
Like an instance-based, time walking, whatever. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So they're all buddies, and they, you know what? They don't like your pace. You're too slow, or you're pulling too much too fast. Yeah. And they're like, you know what? I don't like this guy. And they all vote to kick you out, and you got no control over that, and you're not doing anything wrong. They just don't particularly care for you. So now you're penalized for 30 minutes. Because a group didn't care for the way you played. Yeah. I don't think that's right. I think that if you get kicked, you get kicked. That's terrible, because that's already time that you would invested in that to be wasted. Versus, you know, I get like there's always another side of a coin, another side of a story, right? Like, okay, what about the AFK guy that just sat at the start and they just logged in, went and used the restroom and never came back and expected to get carried through the entire thing? I get why, like, there's some things like that, but it doesn't outweigh, because the majority of the people are highly active. The majority of people are playing, and you can report people for bad comms, or if they're being abusive in chat or something like that, verbally abusive or whatever the case is, and then kick them. And that way, maybe if it was something to that effect, maybe then. But outside of that,
Maybe.
I just don't even really think that's even worth it. I think there should just not be a debuff for getting kicked out of a group, regardless of how people don't like the way you play. That because that's a facility that's going to happen because it's an MMO. It's a multiplayer game. So you're going to run into people
who have some of that.
Yeah, you're going to have conflicts of interest all the time. So that doesn't make sense to me that people get penalized for 30 minutes. That's weird. Question is, how do you split kicking a player for being toxic compared to someone that is learning, or give them?
That's going to be difficult because you have to give a reason, and they've got to go back and research the reason. It's not going to be right. They don't have an AI tool that's going to be able to pick that out.
Right, 100%. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So,
Yep. And like Science was saying just a moment ago, first, I do let him speak often. Second, which is, that's the most important part. I do let him speak. I need to clear the air on that. But the second part is, ultimately, that's what I think the reporting thing is for. I don't think anybody should be getting a debuff, regardless if they are being toxic. You report them for whatever the toxicity it was that they were doing, and you move on with your day. Eventually, enough people, when they're toxic to enough people, they'll get reported enough, and action will be taken against them. So that's just my opinion. I think that's really the end all be all to it. Big bully. Hell yeah.
It's just an imperfect system, and I can see where people get upset about it.
Sure. I just, there's still to this day the whole M+ voting to stop the key.
Yes.
That's a big one. Is voting to stop a key.
That's a big one. Yep.
I
agree.
That one's still a highly spoken on, and there's equal sides have very valid points as to why it should be there and why it shouldn't be there, and it's terrible, especially for the player that doesn't have a group, doesn't have a guild, pugging. They finally get into a key they need, or it's their key, and then everybody just votes to leave, and then scuffs their key, or all that time, especially when you're a DPS or in a pug scenario, it takes you a long time to get into those ideal keys that you want. Even if you are in a meta class, even if you do have a good IO, it's difficult at the beginning, middle. Now, towards the end of a season, it might be a little bit easier for people to get into key groups, but during the beginning to the major meat of a season, it's hard for DPS to get in there and do what they need to do. So I'm not necessarily sure if I'm a fan of these desertion debuffs. You also get it for LFR raid. Who cares? Who cares? Just if someone wants to leave, let them leave and auto queue and pick someone up. That's the most ridiculous thing to me.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's LFR, so if for any reason the team wipes, you get a buff. You get a stacking buff every time you die until you literally overpower the boss.
Yeah.
Let me see. I'm a fan because I laugh when I see take someone that has what? That debut in keys. What is this?
Will not take someone that has that debuff in keys.
Oh yeah.
Debuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, no, I'm not talking about the early lever thing. The early lever thing.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's a perfectly fine indicator. I'm talking about the voting to stop a key. I don't like the voting to stop a key thing. Because, it's different if you just started the first pull and you didn't waste that much time versus you're 90% through the key, or they don't want the IO of an overtime key, so they vote to end the key. I don't like that.
Yep.
But I'm not talking about the but you see what I'm saying? Busy says they love the voting to stop a key. I don't particularly care for it.
I think they only like the voting to stop a key when you're not getting through the first trash pack, or you're smashing up against the first boss because 3 of the people don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, sure, but eventually, right? Anyways. Yep. But anyways, going back to the debuff, not a fan of it. Report people if they're toxic. Report, that's what the reporting system's for. Don't give us a desertion debuff when we've been voted out of an instance-based content piece. That's ridiculous.
Yes.
I mean, that's just going to be my thoughts on that. There should be a % of time you're no longer able to vote to stop a key. Yeah, see, that's an interesting thought, Dash. So like once you cross a certain threshold, whether it's total % of trash or X amount of bosses have been killed.
Yeah,
from that
that's a good idea. I like that.
That would be good if they can implement something like that. Yeah. But being kicked is ridiculous. Yeah, not a fan. Don't agree. Let's move on to the next topic. I don't want to sit there and like muddle all day on that one because that one's kind of a given, right? I think most people are on the air of no debuff. But do guilds matter anymore? Go ahead, Science. Let me hear what you have to say about it. I have opinions.
I think that guilds matter in 2 ways. Number one, it's a place for people to come together and socialize if they wish, but there's other ways to do that. And if you want a continued organized group for the in-game content that Warcraft provides. I think that, again, there's a socialization aspect to some of that in-game content that I think is important, and I think guilds fill that role. But with your ability to just jump into keys and jump into raids, even, I mean, are they really needed? I guess it depends on how you feel about it, honestly.
Okay, I think they absolutely matter in every way, because one, you show me one pug group that's getting cutting edge every season consistently. That's not a guild. That's not
getting that.
That's not realistic, right? And the ultimate thing about this being a video game is everybody's got their different facilities about it. But when you're talking about collective group content, you need to be able. That's where you shine, is when you complete the hardest amount of content in the game.
Correct. So how many people, what's your percentage of people doing that, though? What's your percentage of players doing that?
I mean, it's very low. I mean, it's
very low.
It's under, I would say it's under 8% of the total player base.
No, it's lower than that.
No, sir. It is under 8%.
Yes.
It's under 1%.
I was like,
of the player base. Not 8%. Under 1% of the player base is
and I agree
getting
with you
cutting edge. But
yeah,
in order to do something collective like that, this kind of falls back to what we were talking about last week. You have to have coordination. You have to practice. You have to work with each other. You have to get to learn each other and know each other's play style and how each other moves so that it becomes fluent. And when you're going through the processes and the pulls to get that in-game content done at the highest level, which is the whole point of a video game, is to beat it at its highest level. Now, your personal stretch goals, we're not talking about a collective group goal. Your personal goals are your personal goals. And if they can be achieved through pugging, cool, no problem, you're set. But to look at it at a realistic level, to beat the game's hardest content, it's at a collective level. And the only way you're going to do that is through proper coordination. And with that, you have to have a way to go about that. Now, you can sit there and say, okay, well, you don't need so much the name of a guild, just have a group of people. But that's what a guild is. It's a group of people that get together every week. They practice, work till they get the job done. That's the point. That's the point. So, yes, guilds are absolutely there. And guilds are there for tons of reasons. One, it's not just their current in-game content. There's key groups to help with the and raids, right? But beyond that, there's let's go do Mog runs, let's go do Mount runs. I need help with this old achievement. I need this, I need that. And having that collective group of people that are hanging out and doing stuff together, they're going to be more apt and willing to do that stuff with you versus you going into the legacy area and typing in, hey, glory achievement run, blah, 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 need you in comms, etc., etc. Most people aren't going to do that unless they're absolutely desperate and they're missing like onesie twosie. But here's the other problem: they're missing onesie twosie. Once they get the onesie twosie achievements, they're like, all right, cool, see you guys, I'm out. Where your guildies will stay with you and help you through it. You know, stuff like that.
Right, there is that. But again, I think you're talking about a smaller group of players that are actually playing the game right now. And I think that because I think it's, again, the player base has changed. And so what you have is you don't have a whole lot of that camaraderie. It has to be rediscovered, I think, in the community. And that just depends on which guild you're in.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, you know, the thing about World of Warcraft that you have to keep in the back of your mind at all times is it's always molding and changing and evolving to something different. And we've seen things come back around full circle. We've seen where there's been we've seen times where there was very vague communication with the community as a whole. People were kind of solo doloing their own thing. And then we've seen people where everybody was getting together and doing things more often. It happens more than we realize. And just through the years, you kind of just, you glaze over it because you're just kind of used to seeing these kind of like phases throughout the years. Because we're talking about 21 years of a game. You know what I mean?
Correct. And you're talking about 21 years of gamer evolution and how they think. And you're seeing a lot more non-social gameplay, and you're seeing a lot more single gameplay.
Yeah, you're not going to get this, and you're not going to get the same shock and awe and spark of 2004 because things are completely different now than what they were. You can't expect that experience anymore. Even on the classic rooms, you can't expect that same experience anymore. It's not even remotely the same, which is like why the thumbnail is made the way it is, because
that's a big problem. That's a big deal. Yeah,
you know, I mean, let's see what Science is right. People prefer to stick to a contract or not to stick to a contract or make a commitment nowadays. That's something we were talking about a lot last week with guilds.
Yeah, we did.
That was a big pressure point for me, is the commitment issue, right? People aren't willing to commit, and it's, I mean, I'm not going to get into like semantics about all that, but I can understand where you're coming from, Trash. But like, in order to achieve the ultimate in-game content, you know, you sit there and listen to some of these cutting edge raiders and the way they talk about things and the way that they do things. You know, I'm talking about like top 100, you know, Hall of Fame raiders.
It's completely different.
Yeah, it's a totally different animal. They have a completely different mindset around how to be a part of that raid team and be a member, and what their definition of a commitment to it is versus the, you know, the mythic raid teams that never drive that cutting edge. You know, where you sit in the middle of the pack where you kill 3 or 4 mythic bosses, maybe 5 or 6. And you never can kind of get that gap closed out. But that's the ultimate end game of each season, is to get
and I will say
the hardest collected content done.
I will agree with you that you're going to need a guild to really get in there and get that cutting edge and stuff. Like, I agree with you on that. Yeah. But again, you're talking about a smaller subset of people, and are guilds needed? If you want to do the tippy top stuff, if you're just trying to get your AOTC done, you probably realistically, do you need one to get it done? No. But again, they are helpful because, again, this is an MMO. You're supposed to be making friends, you know.
That doesn't mean for everybody, because right now, as a matter of fact, I know a guild, and I'm not going to say their name, but I know a guild right now that has not gotten AOTC, and they show up every week. And they raid together every week. And they go for it every week. They've been stuck on Dimensius every week since they got to them, and this has been like a month and a half, almost 2 months ago, give or take some weeks there.
And there are some guilds like that,
and they may not get it. They may not get it. So even guilds don't guarantee AOTC, or pugs guarantee AOTC, because it's the player, not the class. And it's always been the player, not the class. So ultimately, I don't know if these people are going to be upset that they don't get it or they do get it or whatever the case is. But, to sit there and say that, like, you can do it on pugs. I know guilds, full flushed out guilds that aren't getting it right now. You can't immediately set your eyes right at the one, the 1%ers. You can't. You have to look at the total player base and say, is guilds good for the total player base? And I say yes, it absolutely is. Yeah. Because I can go into that guild's Discord server and it's always active. They're always together. They don't have AOTC, let alone their first mythic kill. But
they like each other.
But they have a great time and they're very active and they're doing things together. And that's part of being a guild, is that having your niche community inside the MMO of Warcraft. So yes.
Yeah.
That's without question. That's no questions asked. That is how it should be. Regardless of, because
I'm not going to disagree with you on that.
People put blinders on sometimes. You know what I'm saying, Science, and I'm not accusing. I'm just telling you straight to your face that you got your blinders on a little bit, and you've been experiencing something in the game, and that's kind of rolling over. But
could be.
But I look at the total picture and I see things, because I'm very active with trying to stay in the forums and on Reddit and all the threads and whatnot, and see what people are talking about, because I like to know where the pulse is on the game and the community and how they're reacting to everything. And I think that guilds are just as important today. Just because your personal experience dictates a different story, I feel they're just as important today as they have been the entire time, and they're going to be an anchor point in the game until the game stops being the game.
Wow, I like that.
Xavier said I'm drinking a beer for this one.
No, it's okay to agree to disagree or have different opinions. That's what part of a discussion is about.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
100%. But I mean, that's my opinion on it, and I think we brought some good points to the table around it. And ultimately, I'm right, and that's okay. But anyways, it's time to move on to the next one. And
I'm ready.
You should know this already, but I'm gonna say what the topic is, and then I'm gonna say one quick thing, and then I'm gonna let you jump in. Okay?
Go ahead.
Should there be another remix? Well, whether it should or not, it is. That's been confirmed. The devs have said they are going to continue to make remix. It's going to happen, including Shadowlands. That was actually name dropped. WoD and Shadowlands were name dropped in that. So, Science, what's your thoughts on
it? My thoughts are that you're really splitting that community, man. You're really splitting it up. I don't see where you're going to be drawing in, a ton of new players out of that. And I think that's kind of where Warcraft needs to be, is they need to be producing content that's going to bring people in. I think that Remix does that to a point, and then I think it gets dry pretty quick. Legion Remix was good.
Yeah.
But then you're stuck in the infinite game loop of doing the same things all the time. And not that Retailer Classic isn't kind of the same, but again, those have a little more purpose than a Remix does, where you're just kind of landlocked in there. Right. And I think that you can only go to the nostalgia well so many times before it doesn't work. Right. Now, how many times that is, I don't know, because again, I've been playing some WoD. Just in retail, I had a horde character. I'm like, I don't have a garrison. I've got to figure this out. And I've been enjoying my time in WoD, but then again, I like WoD, right?
Yeah.
And so, I get it, but for me to play WoD Remix or Shadowlands Remix, that absolutely no for me. People are going to do it because they're going to sprinkle in some transmogs and some mounts, maybe.
Sure.
But that's not enough for me to go in and just redo it just cause. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I know you and I differ on that a little bit.
Mm-hmm. But not too far, though. Not too far.
Yeah.
So
I get it. I get I get getting the transmog and stuff. I understand that, and that's kind of cool. And again, it's recolored stuff, and it's stuff we already have. But instead of a dice system, they give us remix and they recolor it, right? So, I just think that the remix thing is going to get stale. I would rather see them, and it's not my cup of tea. Bring back the Plunderstorm.
No,
let's bring it back.
No,
let's put it in.
No,
let's
no,
put it in
but
another area.
No, but let me unpack my version of this, okay? And I think you might like what I was going to say. And it's odd that you brought up Plunderstorm, because I was going to caveat to that, but in a different way. All right.
Okay.
First off, we need to go back to 4 seasons, okay? Instead of this third season drought, and try to throw a remix in the middle of it with the long-winded remix. They need to chop down all these crazy feats of strength that take so much time in remix. They should just consolidate it into a Plunderstorm timeline, more like 2 months max versus a 3-month, 4-month stretch. Okay,
I like that.
Just a quick Plunderstorm timeline. Chop out all these additional crazy feats of strength, because ultimately, at the end of the day, the people are going in there for something different and new. Now, here's the other part. You get one max level character that jumps in, and it stays in that until the event's done. And when the event's done, it'll roll over to retail for you. You don't sit there and make tons of characters and do all this crap all over the place. It's very simplified. Here are the things, and here's the vendors. And if you want the MOG, you can go buy all the MOG from every vendor, okay? And for every class. And with whatever bronze or whatever the case is, shorten it down. You get one character, play the character through it. It's already max level, so you can just get in there and go start doing the things and just go have fun and do this quick sprinted version of it to relive the moment. Give us 4 regular seasons back instead of this third long-winded season. Shorten up remix, whatever the next one's going to be, whether it is going to be a WAD, especially if it's going to be a WAD, because a WAD had so much to do with your garrison to progress even through the storyline, and to the point, and I know they can get around this, but you had to wait like for a weekly reset to continue the whole campaign, because you had to wait for a weekly quest to show up in your garrison to go do the next part of the thing. I know they can speed all that stuff up, but just condense it down. One character, max level it off the rip. You don't get to move all this stuff around. You just go do the stuff super quick, get whatever additional MOG mounts and whatever they have in there, and then we're back over into retail, having fun in retail again, because we're getting a 4th season. Keeping it the same timeline that we have, right? They've shortened the expansion times, and I'm okay with that, but they still need to give us 4 seasons, even if they're clipping off 2 weeks off of the other 3, 2-3 weeks off the other 3 seasons. Yeah, just drop it down.
So if you're asking for a 4th season, would you be opposed for them sliding in a mini raid?
Nope.
Like a 2-boss mini raid that's ungodly hard.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But if that's the case, they should make it a flex raid. So you can go in with whatever group size you want.
So say they put in a 2 or 3 boss raid, and then they bring in a new dungeon just for the end of the season.
What? Say it again.
And then they bring it. They do a 2 or 3 boss raid, little mini raid, and then they bring in a little maybe 15-minute dungeon, like a brand new dungeon, something we haven't seen. Just drop one in there.
They're called delves.
At the end of the season.
They're already there. They're called delves.
No, it's not delves. I'm not talking about delves. So, wow.
No, I understand what you're saying. What I think they should do is I think that they should fall back on good practices. Okay, things that we know worked well. Now, I love the fact that they do things and try new things, because some things stick and some things don't. And that's the whole point of trying new stuff out, right? So I'm okay with them trying new stuff, but then let's fall back on some good practices. Shortening up these seasons, no one's going to be butthurt about that. Having a 4th season, no one's going to care, because it's still giving you a reward. Even if it's a recolor of a mount, a recolor of a skin, or this, that, and the other. But even if I saw someone in live say a real 4th season. Now, I'm not trying to make them like go completely crazy and all new 2 set, 4 sets. Not all, we don't need all 2. They should do exactly what they did and let the community vote on what set from the first 3 seasons they like the most. Give it a color reskin, or a color, a recolor, for to spice it up, like a brand new recolor for the 4th season, and let people vote on the dungeons they enjoy the most. So the 4th season is, for the most part, the Mythic players are enjoying, and then you throw in that little raid you're talking about, and maybe still flex the old raids ends with some kind of like empowerment to them, like I was talking about with an affix. Just by simply adding an affix into it, just to change the way it plays. I swear to you, people will love that so much more than what we're enduring right now. Because what this feels like to me is this feels like lazy work, and I hate to say that because I'm not a dev, so I don't know what it takes to put into this. But it feels lazy because all we're doing is we're doing nothing right now. We're doing nothing in Reach Out right now, and their whole mindset was get for it with this long-winded stretch of time. Force people to go ahead and buy the expansion to midnight so they can get into housing to have something to do because all their other friends are having fun in housing except for them. So it's a cash grab.
Yeah.
But the problem with that is the new is gone. Now we're looking for the next thing. Okay, maybe they should be with prepatch launching endeavors or something.
Yes.
Something needs to come with, other than going to the Twisted Highlands and just going out and bopping some rares. You know what I mean? For 2 months?
Yeah, exactly.
Or a month and a half or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah. So what you're saying is Dragonflight was the best seasonal expansion? I think so. I think they did it better than they did the Shadowlands Faded season.
Faded season 4 system. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. Like they did it in Shadowlands and like it was all right, but
I didn't like the Faded system in Shadowlands, but I like the system. And the reason I like the system in Dragonflight was the dinar system, but the dinar unlocked everything, and you weren't limited to your difficulties either. If you wanted to go in and buy your Bis trinket or your Bis this or your Bis that with your dinar, you could, and you can get it at the mythic level and level it up. It was nice. I liked it.
Yeah, and it realistically at the end of the season, nobody cares.
Yeah,
like and so I don't know why there's this holding back thing, but that's
ultimately, tighten up the package of remix, shorten it up.
Yeah,
one character immediately level 90 or whatever. We're gonna be 90. So instead of just say one max level character off the rip, you go do the content, go have fun, go get the mog, go get the stuff. It runs for a month and a half or 2 months, just something quick and fun for you to do to relive that moment in a time walking adventure, but it's not consuming what would be an entire season's worth. Because the problem with the remix, now for you veterans out there and seasoned players that love the aspect of it giving you the option to go and get alts leveled up and all this other stuff, you that's fine, but you also know that remix is a completely inflated and fake version of the game that is not realistic, not tangible. However, if you tell your homeboy that's never played the game and you think this is how you're going to segue them into the game, and then they come in and they just go blow out everything in remix, and then they transfer to retail, and the first ad they walk up to, they get their crap pushed in, they're going to be like, this isn't fun. What happened to my big boom booms and bonks?
Yeah,
and you're going to be like, oh, well, this is actually how the game is. And now they've got a bad experience. So make it to where it's something fun, tight, quick, have a good time. Your ATT collectors out there can grab all the stuff they're missing and have a good time.
I think that's a great idea.
And I'm including all the, since they're going to do it, everything. So every piece of little gear, you can buy it. You can buy every piece of rare drop, so you're not in there. I got to hunt this 1.03% drop chance male boot so that I can complete the last 0.01% of my ATT for WAD. You know what I mean? Like, just go ahead and let people buy it with their bronze. If they're adding new mounts or reskinned or recolors mounts, let people buy them with their bronze, get what they want. tighten it up, get them gone, and let's have a 4th season and have a good time.
I like how you explain that. I think that would actually work.
The Board and Gnome Lover Podcast.
Yes, old Crazy Bat.
Crazy Bat is back. Stay with your whole chest. I did. I said it with my whole chest. But yeah, that's right. I think that's a good. Yeah, we did good. That's a good one.
Yeah,
that's
I like that.
I like that. Okay, good. Will Midnight be ready for pre-patch? Go ahead. I don't have an opinion on it.
No. At this point, there won't be any major swings, I don't think, right now. So whatever's broken in the beta is gonna probably stay broken in the pre-patch. I don't recall seeing anything super major, but anything with classes, and that's going to be what the pre-patch is going to be about. If there's something broken with classes, with their dumbing down of your abilities, pre-patch is going to show it really, really, really hard. So Blizzard's going to have to act really fast to deal with the classes that aren't performing or are either way high performing or way low performing, and then they're going to have to deal with which of their add-ons are working and not working. Are they going to scrap them and let add-on authors come in, or are they going to try to fix it? And that's going to be the biggest focus for them on the pre-patch. The story's already done. There's going to be a little bit more housing things to do, and a finish to the story kind of, and the segue into Midnight, and that's it. So the biggest thing about this is, if you guys do not like what's going on in the pre-patch with your class, with the add-ons, your only option at this point is to blow up the forums and let them know, hey, this ain't working.
So we don't know. So what you're saying is we don't know if they're discontinuing combat add-ons for the
They're still
pre-patch.
saying yes. They're still
pre-patch.
saying yes.
I'm not talking about Midnight.
But we don't know.
I'm talking about from the 19th to March 3rd.
Yeah.
You're saying they're discontinuing combat add-ons there. So your weak auras, your Omni CD, all those are going away.
Supposedly that is going away.
Okay.
Supposedly. And again, they
details?
may extend
Is
it.
Details?
Details, they should be dropping their own details. So I think that and again, I could be wrong here. They may just extend that and let it happen. Let the add-on stay, so that gives them a little bit more time.
Yeah, because, I mean, like I said, the last time I was in beta, I could sit there and use my player profile. I don't know if that's changed in any way or not, but, like, I was able to use my player profile and everything in beta Midnight and Platinator and all that. The only thing I for sure couldn't use was Details. Details was no dice. And weak auras and Omni CD and any other combat.
Okay, here it is right here. I got it for you.
Okay.
Due to major API changes Blizzard is making for Midnight and its pre-patch, add-ons cannot access most combat-related data in the way they do today.
Okay.
Weak auras, DBM, bigwigs, details, similar combat raid tracking add-ons won't function as intended once the Midnight pre-patch goes live. So, it's just going to be really interesting to see how that all works out. It could be a big old mess.
Yeah, sounds like it.
You know
what it sounds like? It sounds like pre-patch is going to be the biggest hot super garbage we're going to deal with.
I think we'll have a lot to talk about.
I think so too. I think for this show, we're going to have plenty to beat up.
Yeah.
Come January 19th. However, the experience we'll have. Also, I don't have a secret topic this week, but I do have one reminder for you guys.
Okay, let's do it.
So you mount enthusiasts out there, if you're a big mount collector and you've achieved all the big mount collector achievements, which give you an additional mount, etc., there's a new achievement coming up, and it starts on January 19th, and it's going to be giving you a recolor of the Fire Hoo-Hoo from Amirdrasil. It's purple in color, has a slight change to the saddle and a slight change to its antlers, but it is a beautiful looking mount. The one thing I don't know is if it's a ride-along. So the Fire Hoo-Hoo mount is a ride-along mount. You know what I'm talking about? Where you can get on the mount itself and then someone can jump on. They turn into a little Fire Hoo-Hoo with you, and then you go fly off together. Scenario.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't know if the 600 mount will do that, but it is the same model with a little, just a reskin of a different color, and that's coming. So if you haven't obtained 600 mounts and you're missing a couple of easy ones out there to go nab up, January 19th, when you log in for the first time, that achievement will pop and you will have that mount. Just wanted to bring that up super quick. Also, another point that I want to bring up too is if you've been doing time walking for the Turbulent Timeways event, okay, and you've hit the achievement for Master of the Turbulent Timeways 4 already, and you got your little voucher and you went to Shadowlands in Ouroboros to go turn in the voucher and pick one of the 4 mounts.
Yeah.
There's the other 3, right? Everybody is assuming that you have to wait until Shadowlands rolls back around before you can get those again with Time Warp badges. I can confirm, due to a guilty, Dianthus, thank you, you do not. Once you've achieved the achievement itself, Master of the Turbulent Timeways 4, you have to be on the character you earned that achievement on. Even though it's an account-bound achievement, you have to be on that character that you popped the achievement on. You can take that character to any time walking vendor, i.e., like right now, what is it, TBC, right?
Yeah.
So it would be Capri and Shatrath. You would go to Capri and Shatrath on the characters you got the achievement. They're all sitting right. The other, all of them are sitting there available for you to purchase. So the 3 you're missing, if you have the Time Warp badges,
that's
you can go ahead and
fantastic.
buy them. But you have to be on the character that you got the Master of the Turbulent Timeways 4 achievement on. So just recall who you were on, and that's the character you go talk to the vendor, and you can get them now. Otherwise, really, as far as I know, that's the only way you can do it. I don't even think you can, when Shadowlands comes around, unless Shadowlands rolls back around, they make it account-wide from that point? I don't know. But
they might. I don't know.
But those are my couple of little quick feedback. So if you're hunting those last couple, there's 3 right there that are pretty simple. As long as you've been doing any time walk farming, time warp badges farming, go get them. Get to 600 so you can get that beautiful mount, because it is super cool.
That's awesome.
Midnight prepatch, man. We're just gonna, this is literally gonna be shooting from the hip and hope we're hitting something. You know what I mean?
Yep, 100%.
And it's gonna be an interesting ride. We're getting into new territory. Yes, there is plenty of time. Adventure, Dave, you have plenty of time. You need to log in and start going. You have to run 4 time walk dungeons each week.
Yeah.
But you got plenty of time. But you got to start doing it. Because and I'm pretty sure there's catch-ups in place too. But you got to go run 4. And once you get the 4th stack, do it on an alt. Do it on an alt that you don't normally play on. Once you get your 4th stack, log off from the week. The next week, you log on, you go run 1 dungeon, and it will stack it again and keep the buff. And then you're only running 1 each week after that. So make sure you do it on alt you never play. Just do it on someone you don't often touch. And once you got your 5 stacks, the achievement pop, you'll get your ledger, you go turn it in, go get the mount. Once you've turned it in to the guy in Ouroboros, you have to go turn it into him first to go get your first mount out of the 4. From that point, then you find whoever the time walking vendor is. So if it's Legion, they're going to be in Dalaran, or also Wrath, they're going to be in Dalaran, or Cataclysm, they're going to be in Orgrimmar, Stormwind, etc. And you go to those wherever that time walker vendor is, and use your time warp badges and grab the other 3. Yeah, man. So again, do it on an alt that you never touch. Get the first 4 done, log off them, don't touch them again until the following week. Run 1 dungeon, it'll re-up it, log off, etc., until you get the achievement, and then you're good to go. That's if you're trying to save time. And if you don't care, then spam 4 each week, 5 each week, or whatever.
Yep.
Until you get it. But that's the fastest route to getting it done. Now, we're going to talk about a little bit of TBC stuff that's earning a little hoot and holler.
It is.
Boosts in TBC are here. Confirmed. Thoughts?
Well, I know the community split on that. The classic community, again, they're wanting everyone to suffer and do that leveling in TBC. Blizzard is giving out. You will be able to pay for a level 58 boost so that you can get into TBC. And the classic community is upset because they believe Blizzard is trivializing the classic experience, which is the leveling process. And this is where all the love is. At the end of the day, this is our third time around. And honestly, it's just not that big of a deal. Is it a cash grab? Absolutely. It's a huge cash grab. They're not speeding up the leveling because they want you to buy the boost. Let's be honest. So the leveling is going to remain the same.
So you got a couple of comments in here. I love Classic, biggest cash grab feature. It's a disappointing Classic. The sub is the biggest cash grab feature, and which is true. Trash it is.
Yeah.
Am I right? Yeah. Always cash grab. Yeah, guys, it is. But let's be honest too. This is recycled content that we're seeing a third time around.
Yeah.
Like, how are you getting? I mean, can I genuinely ask how you're getting excited for literally repeating it? And it's the third time around as classic TBC. It's the fourth time. It's the fourth time it's been here. Period. So we're you're in 4 renderings if you played it when it was original, and then the 3 classic rerolls. I mean,
hold on. You played it when it was original, right?
Yeah.
And then it brought back again, and then it went through Wrath and stopped, and then it came back 4. So 3. This is the third time. Yeah.
Okay. So regardless, okay. So your third time around, you're excited for, like, I don't get me wrong. TBC was an amazing expansion, and I loved it. I loved vanilla, and I loved expansion. I loved TBC, and I loved Wrath. Right? That is where I start to fall off, and that's just me personally.
Yeah.
But TBC was great. But like, I'm not going to go back and just replay it just for the sake of saying it was a great expansion and replay it and everything else like that. So then it comes into contest. Okay, well, if I was going to go back and replay it, I don't want to go through the experience of leveling again. So I would take the boost. You know, if I had the money to do it, I would take the boost. Now I get there's a mixed bag of emotions about that. There's no real hype around this. Yes, there are a few people that are excited about it. But again,
but it's not mass hysteria.
Again, this feels so weird to me. Okay, you got vanilla anniversary or classic. Okay, hardcore classic. Miss a Pandaria classic. Now you're getting TBC for a third time with it's like it just feels so it feels messy. It feels
and you've got to, if you want to play it, you have to pay for it again.
Yeah. It feels
so
messy.
Like you've got to buy one of them. Either you buy the
Wait a minute, are you telling me you have to buy a TBC box set to play it again?
I definitely believe that is the case, yeah. Or you're stuck in classic. It doesn't roll over.
There's no freaking way they're asking people to buy.
I don't think it rolls over.
Time.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I could swear that that is the case. Let me
That's insane.
Hold on.
Listen. While you look that up, let me say this.
Yeah, let me double check.
There is no way they should be asking for a box set for a third rerun of an expansion that's almost 20 years old. We're not talking about classic anymore. We're talking about TBC. There's no way.
Hold on.
And if they are, shame on you, Blizzard. Shame on you. This should be handed to your community.
Oh, no, you do not. You do not.
Okay.
I was going to say, because you can play Burning Crusade Classic Anniversary with just the WoW subscription. You do not need to buy a special expansion or separate purchase just to access the content.
Okay, good.
So they're offering. So, okay, that's fine. So basically you're buying the mounts and, yeah.
Wait, there's mounts?
Yeah.
Do they translate to retail?
One does. Actually, yeah, I was actually showcasing one last night.
Is it the transparent blue dragon?
Yes.
Oh, okay, I already got it. I just couldn't remember because I mean the pre-thing came out so long ago. I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
Man, listen. I can't. I'm sorry. I respect that there's a place for everybody in Azeroth. Okay.
Yeah.
And that certain people just don't like retail, and that's okay. And that they find their happiness in classic, mock classic, hardcore. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. But this is a money machine you're talking about. They're not here to cater to your feelings, to your nostalgia, to your dopamine hits. They're here to make money. They
want you to have a dopamine hit to give them money.
They're going to do what they're going to do to make the money. And they've got to know, they have to know. I know they have to know. We would be naive to think that they haven't thought to themselves, okay, we're bringing back TBC again. We're not going to get that many people to play. Yeah, initially it might be a bunch of people logging on for the first time, but then when they have to start farming attunements and all this other stuff, they're going to be like, okay, I did this. I'm not really interested.
That's where it loses me. Yeah.
And it's going to lose its flavor text. So to offset this, people subscribing for just that aren't going to play all the other ones and losing those subscriptions, they're going to throw these boosts in so that people will just jump in and at least get their little nostalgia kick to cash grab. Why do you think we saw, and I know I'm leaping away from TBC for just a second, but why do you think we saw the Brutosaur come back?
Because they made a lot of money off of that.
It was a gold mine for them, so they brought it back, so it'd be a gold mine again. Anything, this is a money making machine that they're trying to continue to keep nice, lubricated, oiled up, and moving, and never stopping. And they're not going to stop up for your feelings. So get out of their way if that's what you're concerned about.
Yeah, just wait till they add housing decor. Yeah. Yep.
Oh my God! I hope to God they do not do that. Go clear Nax Ramus again, and you'll get this exclusive decor for your home. 40-man Nax. 40-man Nax.
Oh, man.
For this one piece of cosmetic that you can place in your house.
Yeah.
God.
Yep.
It's coming.
It is coming.
But you have to do it in classic to get it. I hope God not. I get so like again, kind of sort of off topic, but it comes to a point here. So a buddy of mine was talking about how the new Fallout series is kind of being interwoven into their game lore and it's all canon and all this stuff, and how he's not the biggest fan of that. Sometimes he likes to have those separated. Now I disagreed with him, and I was like, I like that they're integrating that because the show is very successful. It's doing really well, so it's going to roll over into the game, and things being canonical are going to make things make more sense in the game as you're playing it, and those aha moments are going to start clicking for you, giving you more dopamine hits because you're seeing where the translations come into play with one another. However, there's a difference in that versus me being forced to go back into old content that I've already played once, twice, and now thrice over to go get something new in the game that I want to play. I'm not a fan of that at all and don't want anything to do with it.
Nope.
Zug's your mic.
So the bottom line is the boosts are there. People are a little bit upset, but I think Blizzard's going to make a lot of money off those boosts. And I think you're going to see a lot of Blood Elves and Draenei getting boosted. I have a feeling. Because it's not like the boost is going to hurt you, right? Oh, you need to learn your class. This is classic, man.
My mic, you were sounding kind of muffled. Yeah, my mic every once in a while does something funky. It should be okay now. But yeah, boosts. Meh. Yeah.
Where I'm at.
Meh.
They're here. Just get over it.
Meh. Classic world first.
Yeah, it's coming.
Meh.
But a third time.
Just a couple of quick points I want to bring up because I saw some things and we were kind of moving and stuff. Haru, you were talking about earlier with remakes and all this other stuff. And you brought up a point around people feeling like they weren't getting things and whatnot, or they were feeling the FOMO or whatever the case is. Well, they brought back, they don't care about that. They brought back the AOTC mount for Legion Remix. And there was a lot of sour opinions about that, and they didn't care. They brought it back anyways. They're going to do what they're going to do. So you just roll with it. Yes, the more voices together are going to, they're going to hear you, but ultimately they're the ones that are pressing the buttons at the end of the day, programming things to do what they're going to do. So, you know,
absolutely.
We have to be able to be willing to mold and change, but hopefully they hear our voice and keep some of the things that work right. But yeah, that's it, guys. Hey, if you can do us a favor, drop a like. If you haven't subscribed, we really appreciate your subscription. Turn the alerts on. I'm going to be reposting this for you guys as a, as a video here on YouTube at a higher resolution. So if you guys want to enjoy these beautiful faces in higher res, you're welcome to do so if you deem it to be. Also, we intend to bring this podcast to Spotify, so make sure you guys are looking out for that. If you use Spotify, you'll be able to catch us over there as well and enjoy us during your work day or while you got stuff going on. But anyways, I think that's where we wrap it up, bud.
Sounds good to me, Zugs.
Yeah, man. Hey, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate you, and
Thanks,
we look forward to seeing you next week. Take care of yourself. Have a good night.
Have a good day.